What do you think? I mean, we could go anywhere with this, but the most interesting stories at the moment, do you think it's about a would-be the Georgia runoff consequence, or is it something larger about what the president's saying about election integrity?
Well, I think that is the most important thing, is election integrity. What we have seen is just a remarkable turnout, 160 million votes, over 60 million by mail, dedicated people in every single state doing their loyal best to make sure every legal vote is counted, all very transparent with cameras in every room. And so I think that's the miracle of our democratic republic, is in wide evidence to the American people all over this country and the world, for that matter. That, to me, is a story that has to be continually emphasized as we go through these difficult times.
I want to ask you, Lindsey Graham is on the tape this morning. He says, if we keep the Senate, which I think we will, and I become budget chair, I'd like to create a dialogue about how we can finally begin to address the debt. A lot of people have seen this pivot coming, but I wonder, the fact that we're hearing about it from Graham today, is that an indication of where he sees the overall race going?
Well, I think we have two outstanding runoff races in Georgia, and so there's a lot of uncertainty yet about who will be in the majority. What I hope Lindsey Graham may be telegraphing as well is that there's an opportunity here for some bipartisan consensus. We've got to have a COVID relief bill. We've got to address our overall budget and the priorities within that budget over the course of the next year. The only way that's going to happen with a split Congress and a new White House, if that happens, is by working together. Compromise does not have to be capitulation. It's the oxygen of our democracy, and we need it now.
Tom, if we are looking at a Biden presidency, how do you think that he would potentially work with Mitch McConnell? Would it be different? How would it be different than the last time we saw Mitch McConnell under an Obama-Biden administration?
Well, that's a great question. The one thing I know for sure, because I witnessed it myself for close to 40 years, is the relationship that Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell have had. It's been a relatively close one, even given their partisan differences. So I think they start at least with an opportunity to open the lines of communication. I hope that's possible. And given the very narrowness of the majority, however it turns out, there's almost an essential requirement that the parties work together and that we find some consensus. Trent Lott and I were in exactly this position in 2000. We had a 50-50 Senate. We realized the only way we could move forward and the only way Congress could assert itself and be a full-time, full-fledged player is for us to have the consensus required to have a congressional position.
Tom, you're talking about consensus, and the Senate was certainly structured and designed to be a great deliberative body, but many argue at this point it's broken and it's turned into more of a blunt instrument. And I think there are more concerns of that given what Senator McConnell is saying about cabinet positions. Do you think there are ways to fine-tune or fix what has shifted in the Senate over the past few years?
Well, you're absolutely right. It has become dysfunctional. But you have a different set of circumstances today. Now, instead of a Republican president, you have a potentially Democratic president. And even though the Democrats are in the minority in the Senate right now and may remain so in the next Congress, they're not going to want to filibuster. They're going to want to try to move forward and try to figure out ways to move legislation that may have come through the House. So the circumstances are different. Let's hope it creates a new environment. But you're right. We've got to be concerned about the level of dysfunction. I'd argue it's unprecedented, and that has to change.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.